What up? What up? What up? It's your boy JB coming right back at you. Welcome back to the channel, guys. I had to jump on here real fast, man, because I have to weigh in on Terrell Owens versus Cam Newton. Guys, before I get into this thing, make sure you get down in the description. Follow me on the socials, man. Like, share, comment, and of course, hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate you guys, man, supporting the channel. It's really helped getting this channel out to the algorithm, man. And I really appreciate all the growth, man, you guys are helping me achieve. With that being said, guys, y'all know what happened, man. If you follow this channel, you're a sports guy. Cam Newton made a comment about Jalen Hurts not being a top 10 quarterback. And whenever Cam does an argument, and y'all got to understand, I'm a Cam Newton fan, right? When Cam Newton does an argument, Cam Newton always does a preface of how he's coming with his take. And a lot of people miss that part. But Cam Newton said Jalen Hurts is not a top 10 quarterback in his eye because Jalen Hurts is being asked to not lose the game. He's not being asked to win the game. Basically, he's saying Jalen Hurts has so many weapons around him that he's not considered a top 10 because you can't see what Jalen Hurts' true talent is because they're asking him not to lose the game. You got two wide receivers, right? You got Saquon. You got a bona fide defense. So Jalen Hurts' job is to actually not lose the game. And again, when you look at Cam Newton's take and you understand how Cam Newton is seeing it, Stephen A. Smith brought this up too, as far as why he disagreed with Cam, but he understood Cam's perspective. Cam played for the Carolina Panthers, so we watched Cam put that team on his back. What's the best receiver Cam had? Maybe Steve Smith Jr. was the best receiver he had, and Steve Smith Sr. wasn't no scrub. But at the end of the day, he didn't have a multitude of weapons around him. Musin Muhammad and all those guys were not bad, but what you got to realize is Cam was the star of the show. Without Cam, there was nothing. But y'all know, man, y'all know when Cam made that statement, Ryan Clark, all these guys, but Terrell Owens stood out to me because Terrell Owens came at Cam and basically said he called him Skip Bayless in dreads. And guys, let me tell y'all something. Said that, look, maybe if you would have jumped on that fumble in the Super Bowl, just maybe. So not only did y'all know Terrell Owens did the same thing to Stephen A. when he told Stephen A. that Max was blacker than him. Terrell Owens came at Cam Newton and said, "You are Skip Bayless in braids." And I got to tell y'all, I think Terrell Owens took it too far. I like T.O., but I think T.O. took it too far. Guys, let me tell y'all, the hardest thing I've ever had to do, and I've said this on previous videos, is make YouTube videos. Because y'all don't understand how hard it is when you get a black person into watching your content. Because Terrell Owens clearly didn't hear what Cam Newton said when he prefaced it. And this takes me back to when Cam Newton said back in Shedeur Sanders' senior season, he said, Travis Hunter is that guy. We've seen Travis Hunter have a signature game. He could put his stamp on the game, and you can say Travis won us that game. What did he say about Shedeur? He said, we need one game where Shedeur wins us that game. He said Shedeur, in order to be that guy, he needs to be able to win that game. And Cam prefaced it by talking about his time at Auburn. And let's be honest, Cam was a Heisman Trophy winner, so Cam got the Heisman cachet to be able to make that statement. But a lot of people didn't hear the preface, okay? And he was just going by saying when you have Travis Hunter on your team, you have to do something to stand out. But let's get back, because Ryan Clark weighed in and all this kind of stuff, and y'all know what it come down to. It come down to race. It come down to race. And for Terrell Owens to come at Cam Newton and call him Skip Bayless with braids, guys, that's completely out of line. And black content creators got to deal with more from the black community and their takes, because what the black community wants is they don't want a take that's different. They want your take to be what is good for the culture. Well, realistically, I get all that. But at the end of the day, when you're giving a take, you're just giving people your perspective. Hopefully that lines up with where the culture is, but sometimes it won't. Okay. And I think that's what black people got to do, because you didn't see any white people kind of weighing in on this like this yesterday, or at least let's say that didn't make the news. But let me tell y'all what people got a problem with Cam Newton. People got a problem with his eclectic style. Now, y'all know why I like Cam. I'm the real Cigar Jeff. I'm a cigar smoker. Cam got a successful lounge in Atlanta, right? Cam does his Funky Friday. He's out here on digital media, being the individual that he is. And guys, we should be celebrating that individuality. Is the way he dressed crazy? For some people it is, but to some people, he's a fashion icon. A lot of people don't like Cam because Cam is Cam's biggest fan. And I'm gonna tell y'all why Cam's take is actually gonna be correct. I'm gonna give y'all my reason why Jalen Hurts is not a top 10 quarterback after winning the Super Bowl. And a lot of people don't get mad. But the reason Jalen Hurts is not considered a top 10 quarterback, and Cam Newton didn't say this, but the reason he's not considered a top 10 quarterback was because when they won, he's got to be more vocal, he's got to be more visible, and he's got to go to the White House, regardless on who's in office. Saquon Barkley goes to the White House, flies on Air Force One, and he's on the cover of Madden. Jalen Hurts has got to realize if he wants to be considered top 10, he's got to be a quarterback for all fans, not just the fans that he wants to represent, guys. One of the reasons that a lot of black players and black athletes are not being given their due is they're being forced to be political. And what they need to do is recognize that they got all fans rooting for them. They got all fans that like them. That's what's hurting Jalen Hurts. If Jalen Hurts embraced the fact that, you know what, man, I'm an influencer. I want to be able to have relationships with anybody so that I can help change my community. I don't care if it's Barack. I don't care if it's Biden. I don't care if it's Trump. I don't care if it's Bush. I don't care if it's Clinton. If that visit, along with Saquon's personality and Saquon's performance, got him on the cover of Madden. Notice ain't nobody questioning Saquon. Saquon got paid. Ain't nobody questioning Saquon's influence. Why? Because once Jalen Hurts didn't go, Jalen Hurts decided that he wanted to be a political activist. And that's why he's not going to be considered top 10 across all platforms. Is he a great quarterback? Absolutely he is. And let me tell you why people don't like Cam. People don't like Cam, and Cam's going to have to realize this about his show. Cam has Peggy on his show. I think Cam going to have to get him another host. And that host is going to have to be another professional athlete that can stand side by side with him. Because I think Cam is so eclectic. I think Cam is so flamboyant. And I think Cam is such a bright light that he needs some balance. And just like your car battery, you got a positive and you got a negative terminal. Even Stephen A. Smith kind of showed you the way on that. And maybe not like a traditional embrace debate thing, but really just have y'all seen Cam sit down on Funky Friday? Right? Versus what he's doing on 4th and 1. And I think if he could have like a pardon the interruption style, because he's doing it pretty much like pardon the interruption, he needs another person. But somebody who's just going to come out and get sports takes. I'm going to tell y'all who I would love to see with Cam Newton. I'd love to see Cam Newton and Tim Tebow. I think that's the balance Cam Newton needs, because Cam Newton got some good takes. If y'all go back to some of my videos, I said the man deserves his own show. The problem is ain't nobody's listening to the context or the prefaces that he's putting out there. And that's why he's making news. And it's not fair to him because the guy is getting it from the mud in this content creation thing. He got the business. He's eclectic. He's taking care of the youth, man, with his 7-on-7 team. The boy, granted, got a lot of kids and all that kind of stuff. I ain't saying he's perfect. But the take he got on Jalen Hurts is correct. And Jalen Hurts has to understand that it's not a racial thing, that somebody saying he's not top 10. If Jalen Hurts want to be considered top 10, Jalen Hurts would have been considered top 10 if he would have gone to the White House with Saquon. Matter of fact, I think they would have put Saquon and Jalen Hurts on Madden. And a lot of people ain't going to like it because y'all get caught up with the personality in the White House versus the platform, or like they call it in politics, the bully pulpit of it. And I think the number one thing, Cam is an old school guy. And that's why Cam is connected. There's not a lot of people who want him on the platform because his takes are so unique that they're going to overshadow you once people get a chance to sit back and digest it. They're going to piss you off when you first hear it, but when you get a chance to sit back and digest it, Cam is right on this one. And I wouldn't be surprised if you don't see Terrell Owens on Cam Newton's show apologizing. for calling him a Skip Bayless with braids, because that's completely out of line. Jalen Hurts ain't top 10, but it's from a marketing perspective, not from a football perspective. Cam does what he does from a marketing perspective, backing it up with his football knowledge. I think Jalen Hurts can learn from it because Jalen Hurts has to be a marketing machine. Cam has done it at the highest level. Jalen Hurts has done it at the highest level and won. I think Terrell Owens got to understand that what he's doing with Cam Newton right now, you don't call a man out like this. Ask the man to debate him on his show. Ask the man to debate him on the show. And Terrell Owens, go ahead and get out here on these podcasts, man. Get out here on these podcasts. And instead of getting on Twitter, coming at somebody, get on the show, guys. Let's start using this digital platform to bring attention to the culture and get some different perspectives out there, because that's what it's all about. But the last thing Cam Newton is Skip Bayless with braids. Skip Bayless got some crazy takes. Cam's been spot on with his takes since he's had his show. Y'all get down in the comment section. Let me know what you think, man. Is Jeff crazy or is Jeff on to something if you hadn't already? Smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn on that bell for notifications. And until next time, guys, I'm going to holla.